You're listening to the Major Pod Network, the only place where your favorite toy store, bar, arcade, and arena are all on the same block. Scratch that major itch.
Today on the Game Marks podcast, we play WWE WrestleMania 21 for the Xbox thanks to Mega Mark Jamie Patterson. Will this game hold up today? Will we play it forever? Woo! Or future endeavor?
You're fired!
All of this plus gaming news, GMP64 and Clash at the Feast. Plug in, put on those nostalgia goggles because this week's Game Marks podcast starts now. And now, the Game Marks.
Welcome to the Game Marks podcast, presented by the Major Pod Network. My name is Mr. Anything is Feasible, George Feis.
And I'm the man they call Johnny Clash, and today we're playing maybe one of the most disappointing wrestling games in history, WWE WrestleMania 21.
Definitely a weird one. Definitely a weird one, John. But as always, we love to hear from you. So please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Make sure to subscribe and rate this podcast wherever you choose to listen. And join in on the conversation on all forms of social media at GameMarksPod. And on our Patreon, patreon.com/GameMarksPod. John, how is it that we are playing a DOS game and then going right into WrestleMania 21?
It's like two very opposite ends of the spectrum here, and both
but equally as disappointing.
Oh man, I can't speak to that because I wasn't collecting games or in Europe when WWE European Rampage Tour came out, so I can't speak to the hype level and everything. But we're going to get into WrestleMania 21 a little later and explain, because I remember when this game came out. I own this game, so I can't wait to share with everyone my personal experiences as well as, just what this game could have been.
Yeah, this is, again, a first-time run-through of an Xbox game, so this is actually the last wrestling Xbox for the original Xbox that we'll be playing, which, kind of crazy, kind of sad. We've run through the entire WWF catalog on the OG Xbox, and it's been an interesting journey to say the least, John.
Yeah, maybe at the end of the episode we'll give it a nice play it forever future endeavor of the whole set. But let's talk about what's on Patreon this week, because today, Monday, you get the show ad-free. Tuesday, you get our beautiful show notes and GMP Game Over at Night. That's the sister show to GMP64, where we play WWF No Mercy head-to-head. Wednesday, Future Endeavored. Last week, I played WWF WrestleMania Steel Cage Challenge, and this week, you're up. You're playing the same game. Thursday, I did a little bonus ski. I did a little James Bond Nightfire, a game that I played so much of. It was an insane rush of nostalgia, and hey, that game held up, I gotta say. It was still good. Friday, Clash and Burn. I did a little AMA, a little Ask Me Anything. I answered the question, can you do a kickflip? Probably 50 times. But while that's one of the most common questions we get, it's become a running joke in our Discord. When Gamebury hits this year, I actually have an idea for a little kickflip challenge, and I hope you will all join me.
You'll be doing that challenge alone. I have my own challenge for Gamebury.
All right. Tell us about the streamer spotlight for the month of September.
What do I always say that you like to make fun of me? What do I say that she is?
A peach. She's just a peach.
Damn right. That is damn right, John. Twitch.tv/marauding night. She is the best. She is a peach. She is a variety streamer. She is a part of...
Cringe.
What?
I cringe at the peach.
She's great. You never heard that term?
Oh, I've heard it. It's still cringe.
But yeah, twitch.tv/marauding night. Variety streamer. If you know Dom Odinson and Micropony, if you hang out on our Game Marks podcast Twitch channel on Wednesday nights, she is a part of the group that I typically play with. and she's awesome. She plays way more games than John and I play, mainly for the fact that she delves into the horror games, which, John, I know that you said that that's something that you're interested in. But myself, Dom Odinson, Micropony, we have said that we're not going to do that. That's not our style of games. But she is all about it. Plays Phasmophobia, plays Splitgate, plays Warzone, plays Fall Guys, you name it, she plays it. And she's pretty damn good at a lot of the games that we play. So make sure to go and drop her a follow, twitch.tv/maraudingnight.
Beautiful. Love it. Now let's go on to the YouTube side, youtube.com/GameMarksPodcast, or simply just search Game Marks Podcast. We want to hit 400 subscribers before we drop the legendary Road Warriors episode that we keep preaching about. We want to do the video game history in its entirety of the Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors. We're currently at 355. We want to hit 400. We started at only 290. This is great. I can't wait. We're gonna do this sooner than we think.
I am ready for this. I mean, if you're not familiar with what the video game career retrospect, the video game history is, we've already got 2 available on our YouTube channel. Go and check them out, because it is, I don't know if maybe we're not doing a good job selling it, but man, it is literally start to finish every documented appearance of the Road Warriors, or whatever the wrestler topic is for that episode. Complete, full breakdown, full history. It's awesome.
I love it. I can't wait to do another one, and we have more planned for even after this one hits. So let's get that up to 400. Just hit that subscribe button. Also on YouTube, GMP64 episode 33.
Choked up.
Next week is episode 34. 3 days after that is WrestleMania on October 3rd, live on Twitch at 8 p.m., twitch.tv/GameMarksPod. We are bringing the heat. We are bringing the hottest event on Twitch, and it's coming to you free. So be there, October 3rd.
I can't believe it's almost over, John. I'm sad. It's one of those things, like we always say. It's, I can't believe there's only 2 weeks left. I can't believe there's still 2 weeks left. It's just the cadence in which you say that is,
oh man,
it changes week to week.
We're gonna have a nice, relaxing vacation when that's over, and oh man. And then
it's a labor of love for sure.
And then we roll right into Gameboree, and then we probably roll right into season 2 of GMP64. So we're gonna stay on our workhorse, and yeah, I'm ready for some more. But guys, head on over to GameMarksPod.com/shop today. You could pick up some gaming grips, some guitar picks, some t-shirts, some exclusive prints with all of the games we played at Forever, Future, Endeavor. It's all there. Check it out. But George, are you ready for some gaming news?
There's one thing I cannot wait to talk about this week. Let's go. Are you looking to get a better grip on life? How about your video games? Well, VGF Gamers are the largest silicone gaming brand in the USA. They have a variety of different and unique skins for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One controllers and consoles. Check out their products at VGFgamers.com and use code GameMarks to receive 15% off your order at checkout. That's GAMEMARKS at checkout. VGF Gamers. Better grip, better style.
Nintendo Switch Online gives subscribers the ability to play classic games from the NES and SNES eras, but soon, 2 more consoles will be added to the lineup, the Nintendo 64 and the Sega Genesis. During last week's Nintendo Direct presentation, the company officially revealed that some of the best games from the N64 and Genesis eras will be coming to the Switch in October. Naturally, fans will be able to control these games using the Joy-Cons or the Switch Pro controllers, but retro enthusiasts can also purchase Nintendo Switch controllers modeled after the N64 and Genesis originals. The controllers will be available for $50 each, and like the NES and SNES controllers, presumably these will be available to purchase exclusively to Nintendo Switch Online subscribers. Now, Call of Duty Vanguard's beta on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series S, and Xbox Series X is over, and now developer Sledgehammer Games has announced some of the changes it's already working on based on the feedback. To this end, the Sledgehammer Games has confirmed improvements to spawns are coming, which is something fans were demanding through the beta. Meanwhile, and on a more disappointing note, open mic lobbies in Search and Destroy are being fixed, which means the best trash talking Call of Duty has seen since Modern Warfare 2 is coming to an end. Now, Battlefield 2042 beta dates have been reportedly revealed courtesy of Tom Henderson, a prominent Battlefield insider and leaker who has been at the forefront of Battlefield 2042 rumors and leaks since before the game was even announced. According to Henderson, the open beta will begin on October 8th, meanwhile early access will begin before this, or more specifically on October 6th. Adding to this, Henderson theorizes that the beta will last until October 10th, or in other words, 4 days total. If this is the case, only half of the beta will be open to everyone. And that's all the gaming news we have this week. Check back next week. All right, tell me what you got.
Okay.
Show me what you got.
Show me what you got. So you're not a Switch guy. I know that you don't have one. I don't think you have any plans to get one. I know it's something that you have looked into, but you've never pulled the trigger on it.
No, nothing pulling me in.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm so excited for the N64 games to come to the Switch, because I still have my N64. We run emulators for the podcast. For some reason, I am thrilled that the N64 games are coming to the Switch. There's just something cool about.
I feel like it's like a nostalgia rush. It's like when you go to video game trading posts and you pick up an old game and you play it once and then you're like, okay, kind of tuck it away. You're like, that was cool.
Can I selfishly tell you what the thing that I'm most excited for is?
The controller.
Do you know why?
Why?
It is a licensed N64 wireless controller. There is a good chance that I can get that to work with a computer.
And if you can, you will tell me and I will purchase one as well, and our life will be changed forever.
I'll have to buy one for you because it's going to be available only to Nintendo Online customers.
I'll Venmo you.
That is literally one of the aspects that I am looking forward to most, is that it's listen, some of these N64 controllers you can get off of Amazon, some of them are pretty great. They work, they function, they're pretty great. Some of them are not. Some of them are hot garbage and they don't work, and you think the controller drift that you've heard on the Switch is bad? Man, it's got nothing. But the fact that this is a licensed N64 controller, wireless, 20 years later, I'm in. Give it to me.
It's like the Wavebird all over again. Innovative.
Yeah. I'm so ready for it.
All right, I'm going to switch over for a little bit. Switch. Smart Mark, point to the head. Call of Duty Vanguard beta. I had friends that were involved in it. I saw our buddy Swoggle was playing it as well. General consensus is it wasn't that good.
Didn't look great. Watched a lot of footage of it.
Oh.
I was not wowed.
No. My friend who primarily I play Warzone with almost 99% of the time, we had high hopes. We were like, oh yeah, I can't wait to get it, drop the new maps, whatever. And he said it's probably not going to buy it unless they do some fixes. We'll wait now till it comes out and watch some streamers and make a decision there. It's kind of disappointing.
Yeah, it's a big. The overall consensus from what I've heard is the crowd went mild.
Yeah.
The structure. There's a lot of nostalgia kick for people who love those World War II style games. There's the iconic guns like the Bar and the Garand, and if you've ever played Battlefield or you've ever played Medal of Honor, there's going to be a lot of things that check those boxes. But there's nothing, and this has been my problem with Call of Duty games for a long time, there's nothing that's innovative anymore. It's just, hey, it's a shooter. There's some maps that are sometimes like you're going to have really condensed small maps or really large ridiculous maps where you never see anybody, and they're just I feel like we've been using this a lot more lately than we had in the past of the podcast. It's just not a lot of meat on the bone here.
Yeah, it seems just like if I'm gonna get the game, I'm gonna drop money on it just to get the Warzone guns, let's be honest here. So I'll see if that's even worth it, because I did not get Cold War and I've been doing just fine.
It can't justify $60+ on a game that is essentially just an easier way of leveling your Warzone guns. I can't justify that.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. But what do you say we head on over now to the question of the week?
I'm ready for it.
What's up, Game Marks? Are you trying to look your best while repping your favorite video game podcast duo? We know just the place. Head over to ProWrestlingTees.com/GameMarksPod to pick up your favorite GMP designs, including our various logo tees, Future Endeavor, the classic NES Pro Wrestling style tee, and of course, Mark the F out. Order today and receive a phone call from us. You never know who will pop in. That's ProWrestlingTees.com/GameMarksPod. Play it forever.
So, once again, similar to last week, there was no question that wasn't something that we have already answered in the past. And we don't want to repeat ourselves and answer the same question. So, no offense to, if you asked a question and it wasn't picked, it just means that it's most likely a question or a variant of that question has been answered in the past. But we are once again going to be doing the Apple Podcast review giveaway this week. John, why don't you take us through this week's review?
This week's review comes from Wild MF and says, "Did you know? The Game Marks podcast is such a fun listen. They cover the latest in gaming news and then do a deep dive into different wrestling games. Each week I learn something new in each episode, even about the games that I thought I knew all there was to know about. When it comes to the Game Marks podcast, it's an easy. Play it forever." Wild MF, hit us up with your contact info and we will get you that signed 8x10.
What was the title of that review again, John?
Did you know?
Thank you.
Yep.
Oh, I'm actually kind of nervous about this part, John. I'm not going to lie to you.
See, this isn't like a tiptoe into the diving board. This is like my clothes are still on. I'm making sure my phone's in my pocket and everyone knows it so they don't push me in. But it's time for that deep dive of WrestleMania 21.
Here we go. All right, WrestleMania 21, released April 20th, 2005 for the original Microsoft Xbox, developed by Studio Gigante. Now,
this might be the biggest mind blower coming right out of the gate here.
We are immediately going to stop. We're hitting the brakes because we need to talk about Studio Gigante. So, they released a whopping 2 games that were both Xbox exclusives. The first release was Tao Fang, Fist of the Lotus, which was released in 2003. And the second was this game, WWF WrestleMania 21 for the Xbox in 2005. John, could you, real quick, what else happened to this studio in 2005?
Shortly after this game's release, this studio shut down and was never to be seen again. Yeah. Now, I looked up the other game that they produced, and it got mediocre to very little reviews. It's not a good game, and listen, they tried with this game. You could tell that they actually put a lot of effort in here to build it back up from Raw 2. I mean, I think if they put out a Raw 3 and it was on the same accord, it wouldn't have been a success. And this one, they came out of the gate with something different, so kudos to them. Now, I got to say this, and aspects of this are seen in WrestleMania 21, that Studio Gigante is actually several members of Midway, several of the same developers of Mortal Kombat. So
yeah, it's one of the founding guys of Midway.
They tried.
He's the Cybot of Noob Cybot.
They tried, and then they tried with TNA Wrestling. I guess Midway and Midway adjacents just can't get wrestling games perfect. That's okay.
I mean, They get a lot of other things right. So listen, maybe wrestling's just not there. Listen, they can't all be Blitz.
Can't all be NHL hits.
Can't all be NBA Jam.
Yeah, well, we tried. But let's move on a little here. Published by THQ, of course. We already knew that. Other games in 2005. We had Raw and SmackDown, the mobile games. Now, these are two separate games, both consisting of the Raw and the SmackDown rosters. Kind of weird. Kind of, kind of what they were. The Aftershock for the N-Gage, which is actually similar to the Raw and SmackDown games mobile. Day of Reckoning 2 for the GameCube, which we still have yet to cover, and it's one of my all-time favorites. And then
it's coming up.
SmackDown vs. Raw 2006 for the PlayStation 2 and the PSP, and Fire Pro Wrestling Returns for the PlayStation 2. So in a world where you have SmackDown vs. Raw 2006, where you have Fire Pro Wrestling Returns, where you have Day of Reckoning, we're still at the time where each console's getting their own exclusive. We get WrestleMania 21. Now, this was announced in 2004 at just a little before E3 by THQ, and they said this would be replacing the Raw series. So this is kind of them waving their flag saying Raw 1 was a complete drag. Raw 2, we updated some things, but we think Just Bring It was kind of the game of that year. So let's start from scratch. So many of the features from this were removed, like create a tag team. You can't create alternate costumes for your characters, and there's no unique entrances. Whatever entrance you pick for your created wrestler, that's it. That's the one they have to go with. You can't do the little cutscenes in between. The upgraded graphics, which are so obvious, as we were playing, we're like, this game is so pretty. This might be one of the prettiest wrestling games we've ever seen. It's bright. It's colorful. It looks like the arena. Everything is bright. They kind of hit home and want to point out that each arena is colored differently. And we noticed that in the Bad Blood arena we were playing, when you hit your finisher, the lights dim and they're all red. It's kind of cool. So like Velocity's green. Yeah, SmackDown's blue. It's a little unique. It's a little but unique. You have
It's an extra element of in addition to camera cuts and the zoom and the blur effect, and all the other crazy things that they do for finishers, you also get that, which is an extra little thing. But the thing that really stood out for me is that I don't think I've ever played a game where a character model has looked so great, but the icon from the character selection screen has looked so bad.
Woof. Okay.
They're like caricature drawings that you would get from like walking down like like the boardwalk or something. Like
just
there's
bad
a guy
angles
sitting there with an easel, and he's like, "Oh, Bubba Ray Dudley, come sit down.
Let me
I'll draw
elongate
you in a
your
couple
chin."
of seconds."
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that was a little weird. It's like they didn't just take the shots straight on, like the camera's up or down a little bit. It's very odd. Kurt Angle looked like Tito Ortiz. But overall, what you said, it's a big upgrade from Raw 2. It actually looks like a WWE arena and the wrestlers themselves. And this game includes even more arenas, which are great. And a fully voiced career mode. Now, this is something you don't see often. You usually have the text bubbles, maybe some of it's voice, half of it. Maybe some are, some aren't. This game, every single character has a voice and has a voiceover. Now, as far as who does the actual voice for the character, I've researched. I can't find it who. I don't have the actual game manual in front of me. So if anyone knows who does it, please let us know and we'll post it. Rather than this being built upon the Raw 2 engine, Studio Gigante actually built this from the ground up. So as we know with other games,
It's a lot of work.
Let's look at 5-Star Wrestling. That was built from the ground up. And how many bugs were there? And we're in an era where this was featuring online play and Xbox Live, but it was still relatively new. So if you're getting that update, it might be either a slow update, it might either take a while, you might not even know it existed, like Johnny Clash when he was in 2005, because he didn't have Xbox Live until 360. So you're just stuck with a broken game. So also, George, this game, the first Xbox WWE title to have online play, so it was kind of a big deal. It got that nice little orange fiery line on the game top that said online play, whatever, Xbox Live. But yeah, I did not have Xbox Live until 360, that's for sure. And
you were a big online wrestling, like the Versus guy.
yeah, eventually when you get to like the SmackDown versus Raws and all that, but
I was never big into that. That was just like never my thing. I think mainly because, a thing that you've talked about a lot in the past in regards to online play. It's always like, they always find like that one cheap thing to do and abuse it. It's just like, it sucks all the fun. Like, you and I joke a lot about the cheap tactics that we both use in Clash at the Feast.
But they're legit.
That's all fun and good. But like when it's online play and people are like, I remember I loaded him one time and I have no idea how this guy did it, but he had like speed hacks or something.
Oh,
in
yeah.
the SmackDown vs. Raw games. And his guy was like, you couldn't do anything because as soon as you tried to grapple, he was already like behind you because he was so quick.
There used to also be a hacked pin, like you would roll the guy up and you couldn't kick out no matter what. A lot of people use that one. It was pretty brutal.
Ridiculous.
But this game featured a create a belt feature for online where you could make your belt and then go challenge other people for the belt. 4-player head-to-head online with multi-match types and voice chat support. Big deal. Voice chat.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. He's right.
COD lobbies in a wrestling game?
I never understood being able to hear your opponent while playing them because that's just a recipe for disaster. Like I've had
absolutely.
people in NHL that just want to play music the whole time or trash talk even though you're beating them. It's like, oh, come on. But let's run through these actual game modes in here because while there is a lot, most of these, if not all of these, are only available in one-on-one versus mode. So
yeah,
you have.
You got to take stock of what system we're on. This is still original Xbox, and while some other games at the time may allow you to do that, this is we're building from the ground up here.
Yeah, well,
new foundation here. But
it makes me think that maybe if this game succeeded, we would have kept getting the WrestleMania series to rival the SmackDown vs. Raw series, but on the Xbox. But
so this is my other question. They started the WrestleMania series at 21.
Yes.
So there would just be a yearly release, 22, 23, 24?
Well, we saw WrestleMania 2000.
No, but I'm saying, the next game in that series wasn't WrestleMania 2001. It was No Mercy.
Right.
So like, is WrestleMania 21 a title of an individual game? And then like the next game would have been titled something different, just built on the same engine? Or I wonder if like the WrestleMania theme was going to be something that continued throughout and like they would just do like yearly WrestleMania themed releases.
Well, let's look at the GameCube, WrestleMania 18, WrestleMania 19, then they switched to Day of Reckoning. Which isn't that much of a different series if you think about it. It's just kind of upgraded. This is a completely new game, completely new series from Raw.
It's just one of those things where like we'll never know because the game, the company folded. There was never, as far as we know, a plan for a next line in the series. But it's just one of those things like, hey, you can fantasy book. Do you book this as a WrestleMania series game with a yearly release? Or is this like a one-off title, like John said, where it's like a WrestleMania 2000 and then the next title is something different? Maybe you get, WWF Bad Blood or Vengeance for the Xbox.
Just odd because WrestleMania 2000 was so pivotal and like very unique, and then you have like 21, not 20. Like, so you go 18, 19, and then you go to 21. But, all right, you know what? Let's get into these match types first, because when we get down to the arenas, I have a gripe. You have your singles match, tag team match, handicap, triple threat, fatal four-way, battle royal, Royal Rumble, last man standing, bra and panties match, cage, Hell in a Cell, ladder, table, and TLC. So you do have everything here. They put everything in here. What more could you ask for? Elimination Chamber wasn't really in many games yet, if not at all.
No, it wasn't as like prevalent of a feature in WWE yet, like, or at least in the games yet. It wasn't like this is in every release. It has to be. It was hey, if we can make it work, we'll fit it in there. But
right.
That's a lot of work to get that whole structure in a game.
Right. But also they added a new pro reversal system in here. Now this game might be.
Boy, did I struggle with that.
It might be a little innovative in the sense that this was used for a while, where L is your grapples, R is your strikes. There's a little indicator that comes up next to your name. I don't think you ever saw it, but
and by
it
a little,
flashes.
do you mean it is a pixel wide? Because
It's a circle. It's a little blue circle.
I finally saw it, but it comes up every now and then, and it's
no. That doesn't come up every now and then. It comes up on every move. You have to just catch it. It's just like Day of Reckoning. It's the same as like, I don't know, any other game where you have to catch the timing of the move or else you don't get it. It's like the 2K games even.
Yes.
It's all about the timing. But this allowed for simpler reversing of an opponent's move. I thought it was generic. It wasn't simpler. It wasn't harder. It was right on par with all the other wrestling games, and maybe this is just what stemmed from it. But glitches.
Oh, man.
You guys could be running at each other, and all of a sudden you're flipped. You're not on the same side anymore. Here's an
the camera glitch was the worst.
Yeah. There's a lot
where, I mean, we could have an entire episode or entire section of this game just in the glitches that we both experienced. But like the one that bothered me the most, and granted, there were a lot that bothered me. The camera one by far was the worst because if I'm on the left side of the screen, you're on the right side of the screen, and we're in opposite corners, and you run to me, when you go to do your drop kick or your diving clothesline or a grapple, the camera doesn't rotate. It is a hard cut, but it's a hard cut with a zoom. It's very jarring. It's an angle that you would see very commonly on television because that's the kind of, you got to be in the action. It works for television, but not when I'm trying to control a wrestler.
Right.
It was very, very disorienting, and that combined with like you would go to do a dive move and then I would try to be hitting the reversal at the same time. Then all of a sudden the camera, there was just a lot happening at once. Our favorite, we've talked about it in a lot of different games, the heat seeking moves.
Oh yeah. You could fly across the ring.
It's
easily.
Unreal off the top. If you throw a running drop kick, a standing drop kick, a super kick, everything is heat seeking. If you are within 6 feet of the person that you are trying to hit, it will auto lock and you're hitting that move.
Yep, that's correct. Now, from my personal experience, I did have a broken version of this game. And when we get to the Did You Know section, you'll see why. Eugene used to do the Junkyard Dog pee on the guy finisher, where he goes around on all fours and lifts his leg.
And that's in a lot of games.
Pees on his guy. That's his finisher in here. So it was funny. I used to do it all the time. So as my guy's doing it, all of a sudden, it shoots us up into the crowd. So now I'm peeing on the fans as Eugene, but my opponent's under me, and the top rope came with us. So visualize that. A gigantic elastic top rope all the way in the top of the rafters with Eugene peeing on a fan.
That's the other thing that we've talked about when we were playing. The ropes are made of rubber bands.
Yes, very
Eddie
much.
Guerrero goes onto the middle rope during his entrance, and it bends under him like he is Yokozuna about to do the bonsai drop. I am. It's like they never saw how wrestling rope works.
It doesn't bother me as much because it has nothing to do with the gameplay. But yeah, it's there. It's pretty visual.
It's just, I feel like that's something that's in a lot of different games too.
Yeah.
Like it's something where it's just like, the ropes are made of a couple of rubber bands tied together, so it's a slightly heavier, thicker rubber band, and you just I don't know. It's
a sight for sore eyes. It's something you have to see for yourself.
Yeah, make sure you go and check out the Clash at the Feast this week, so you can go and see those wonderful rubber band ropes.
We definitely pointed out.
Yep. You want to talk about this career mode for a little bit?
Yeah. So this actually was one of the main points last week I brought up that I think you should have played through it, and I actually went back and watched some videos of it because I did play through this as a young lad, maybe more than once.
I will
even.
have you know that I did start it.
All right. Well, it's cool.
So-
Like we said before, it's all voiced over, every single aspect. So that's something you don't normally see. You don't have the little text bubbles. You're actually talking. It's not a long career mode either. You start as your created wrestler, and you're basically going through WWE starting from developmental. So you play through and become the U.S. champion, the tag champion with Booker T, the Intercontinental champion, the world champion, and the WWE champion, and it begins with you on Velocity as a heel. Now, halfway through you're attacked by Evolution and you're put out of action for months, and during that time, Eric Bischoff kind of becomes your personal coach and helps you get revenge on them. So now you're kind of going back through like an independent circuit here. Very, very heavy on the legends here, and you can see from the title, it says Become a Legend. So once we get to the roster, you hear who they all are, but you're going one-on-one with legend after legend after legend. It kind of, not my favorite type of gameplay when you're just going with Jimmy Snuka over and over again. But eventually, you return, and Eric Bischoff gives you the members of Evolution one-on-one, and it all ends at WrestleMania in a last man standing match against Kurt Angle.
Star of GMP64, Kurt Angle.
It's a really good story mode. I compare it to Day of Reckoning 2 with the Evolution stuff. It's just a little drawn out, a little better, there were glitches here too. I do remember multiple times talking to Eric Bischoff and just getting that, and you had to turn off the Xbox. That happened a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But
that's never fun. I see. Story modes, career modes like this make me mad because this is from an age of wrestling games where the story modes were unique. Whether you love it or you hate it, the story modes were unique. They started out the same. You were a guy, girl in developmental, and you work your way up. But then there's like little twists here and there. Day of Reckoning, another great example. Very unique story modes, very unique, career, how that whole thing plays out. What happened? When was that switch that we suddenly went from that to the story mode that we got in 2K20? I
think we just want branching story modes. I want to lose, and I want to know that if I lose, the story is going to develop that in that direction. Is that so much to ask?
I don't know if cookie cutter is the term. But I miss that. I miss a single player mode in a wrestling game where the story mode wasn't just, hey, you're going to
do A to get to B, and that's it.
Yeah, and like there's no, and not to sound like a Russo mark, but there's no swerves or anything. Like that's what makes video games fun, is the unknown, the chance that if you do A, B happens, and if you do B, C happens. Like it's or like you have a choice of doing A or B, and like you said, that branching arc where if one happens, because it doesn't even have to be win or loss. I remember there were certain games where like how you won a match, affected like if it was a DQ loss,
use a chair 3 times, blah blah blah.
Yeah, I miss stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree. I just want creativity, and I want to replay it at some point and like remember it. I actually do remember this WrestleMania 21 story a lot. So, but let's get into this roster here.
This roster, man.
This is a who's who.
I will volunteer to take the roster this week.
Take it away.
All right, so your roster for WrestleMania 21 is Batista, The Big Show, Booker T, Bubba Ray Dudley, Charlie Haas, Chavo Guerrero, Chris Benoit, don't bleep it, Chris Jericho, Christian, Devon Dudley, Eddie Guerrero, Edge, Eugene, Garrison Cade, Jazz, JBL, John Cena, Kane, Kurt Angle, Lita, Matt Hardy, Miss Jackie, Nydia, Randy Orton, Rene Dupree, Rey Mysterio, Rhino, Ric Flair, Rob Van Dam, Scotty 2 Hotty, Shawn Michaels, Shelton Benjamin, Spike Dudley, Stacy Keibler, Tajiri, The Hurricane, Triple H, Trish Stratus, The Undertaker, and Val Venus. But that's not all, because there's also legends. You have Andre the Giant, the 2003 Big Show, Bret Hart, Jimmy Snuka, Mankind, Rey Mysterio in gold attire, and The Rock.
So what's weird to me is you get The Rock here looking like classic The Rock that we all know from like the 90s, but at this time, like when he comes back WrestleMania 20, he's Hollywood Rock, and that Rock is nowhere to be found in this game.
I guess it's the Rock that they want you to remember.
Weird.
Or like
weird.
the Rock that they want you to picture in their head.
I liked Hollywood Rock.
I liked Hollywood Rock too. I liked him so much I made him in No Mercy.
That's true.
Hollywood Rock was the next elevation of like cocky heel Rock. I thought way underrated version of Rock. But listen, you got a roster. You've got a story mode, you've got gameplay, you've got matches. You need somewhere to have them. And now we're going to go through all of the arenas.
You want me to take this one?
Sure.
All right. We have SmackDown, Raw, Heat, Velocity, Royal Rumble, No Way Out, WrestleMania 20, Backlash, Judgment Day, Bad Blood, Vengeance, SummerSlam, Unforgiven, No Mercy, Survivor Series, Armageddon, a gymnasium, a wrestling club, a training facility, a civic center, and an industrial basement. Now, do you want me to tell you my gripe with all of these?
Oh, is this the thing that I already know?
Maybe, but the game's called WrestleMania 21.
Uh-huh.
You only have the WrestleMania 20 set. Now, WrestleMania did come out on April 20th of 2005, which was after WrestleMania 21, the actual pay-per-view event, which was April 3rd, 2005. Now, I know they can't put the arena in here that quickly. You know, it's usually a year behind, but you're titling the game after this random WrestleMania 21, and that's literally the only reason. Like, there's no reason. There's no reason for it to be titled WrestleMania 21. It's just a yearly thing.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I mean,
the loading screen is the WrestleMania 21 logo. Why not just make something? Make a WrestleMania 21 logo. Call it a day. I mean, arena.
Or fantasy book it.
Exactly. Like, make something like a big arena with the WrestleMania 21 logo. And
you
there
have
you
the
go.
logo. Just, do any. Give me the WrestleMania 2000 arena and just put the logo in the WrestleMania 2. Give me the WrestleMania 2000 arena. Throw the WrestleMania 21 logo on the backboard. That's it.
Right. And the WrestleMania 21 arena itself wasn't even anything crazy. It was the Hollywood theme. So it had like the red carpet and all that. You know it's in Hollywood. Just give us something. Give us a little, what are those things that you'll cut and slam? Whatever the hell that's called.
The clapper board?
The little clappy guy. Yeah. I don't know. Something. Give us a branding of something.
All right. We got to talk about this artwork now because there is something that is driving me insane, and I have been looking at it literally the entire time that we've been recording, trying to wrap my head around it.
All right.
Front of the art, front of the box. Got that wonderful only on Xbox banner that was on the top. You have the Xbox Live online enabled. You've got the WrestleMania 21 logo with a lovely little sunburst behind it. It says, "Become a legend." No wrestlers, nothing. Just sunburst, the logo, THQ logo, Xbox logo. Got it. Cool. Straight to the point. On the back, though, John, what is happening to John Cena's head?
It's a little smushed.
What? Why? Okay.
It doesn't bother me that much.
This is a video game render of the John Cena model, I guess. How come it looks like they photoshopped John Cena's head on his body? It's the model from the game.
I don't know. It doesn't.
The shadowing is wrong. The coloring is wrong. It looks like a bad Photoshop job, and I don't understand how this happens.
I don't know. It just looks like Baby Cena to me and Baby Orton, so it doesn't like bug me as much because I think back to like the 2005 versions of them, and This is what I see.
When I think of Randy Orton, this is the Randy Orton I picture in my head.
Yeah, most likely. I don't mind it. There's actually 2 covers of this game. One has Flair, Benoit, Undertaker, and Orton on the front of it. I believe that's the European cover.
Oh.
So that one's kind of cool. But through the back of this, it says, how will you become a legend? Become a legend online. Defend your championship in multiple types with voice chat support, superstar voiceovers, and commentary with a nice picture of Orton and Christian. Now you have the Undertaker throwing Mankind off the Hell in a Cell, and it says motion captured superstars and animation. And create your own championship. Challenge your friends via Xbox Live. Now, you didn't have this game. I did have this game. I didn't know a single friend that had this game. If I was going to play this on Xbox Live, it was going to be me, myself, and some randoms.
I say, did you and TK play this game a lot?
I believe his brother actually still owns this game because he did text me once and said, when you play this, hit me up. I might have a copy for you, which...
Oh.
Yeah, we didn't need it, but... I held on to this game as the only Xbox game after I sold off my console and all of my games, just hoping one day it would support on Xbox 360, and the day never happened.
Oh, that is sad.
Sad, right? I might still have it. It might be in my parents' basement. It might have stayed there. Look at this, though. This game is in HD, 480p, baby. Let's go. Yeah, I know your face says it all. Okay,
Jesus.
So I might have an answer to your John Cena lighting question. Do you see the disc that I put under here?
Yeah.
John Cena's facing to the right, Orton to the left. But on the back cover, they're both facing to the left. But on the disc, it looks like the lighting's correct with both of them. So I think they just flipped the image, and that's the problem.
Okay, yeah, I can see that now.
Still,
it's been driving me nuts.
Still a big design flaw. But while we're on the topic of design, let's talk about the actual game design, because we mentioned how pretty it looks. The titles look nice and shiny. I always ask you, do you prefer the health meters up top or the bottom? In this case, they're up top, but I think I prefer them at the bottom because they were very distracting up top, because every time you get hit with a move, it looks like glass shattering and like a piece of your health flies off, and it's just kind of distracting, especially with the little character up top that shows your body damage. I think it's just too much up there.
There's definitely a lot of movement, flashing lights and stuff that,
Heat boost, maximum heat, all that.
I mean, okay, so compare this to a THQ. Flashing, a lot of motion, and that stamina bar on the bottom. But because it's on the bottom, it's not so distracting.
Right.
But when you're in a tag match or a Fatal 4, it's on the top. I found my eye drawing to that
exactly
a little bit more. So I agree with you. I think it should be on the bottom.
Especially in other match types like the Hell in a Cell and then the ladder match, the objective, either it's the top of the cell or the thing you're grabbing from the ladder, is up top too. So it's just a lot.
Now, let's address the one big thing that you did not like presentation-wise.
Probably the thing I hate the most.
I don't want to steal this from you because it is something that also annoyed me, but it only annoyed me once you pointed it out. So I have my thing that bugs me about this game. I will let you give your big gripe.
Okay, so we all know WWE loves their entrance stages and they love their screens, multiple screens. Everyone gets an entrance video, plus they get the little side things and all that, the little ribbons, I think they call them. In this game, everything is the same. So when you have your Raw arena, you have your Titantron screen, it's playing your entrance video. So are the 3 screens on the bottom. So like Lita's coming out, you have Lita's entrance video. Maybe you'll have like that cool thing she used to have with the clouds and the eyes underneath it. No, you're just getting entrance video. And then this is the same where I know you like when it's actually showing a replay on the stage, not just a logo. But here it's like 5 or 6 times just repeated over and over again.
It should just be on the Tron.
Just on the Tron.
it should be every monitor in the arena.
It's like they built those screens in and they're like, oh shit, what do we put on these? And they didn't know. So Yeah.
Well, now you can see it from every angle, wherever every seat in the arena is a good seat now because of how they've done this.
I think the one where you notice it the most is the Survivor Series or SummerSlam. I can't remember which one, but it's kind of like a half circle, and every single screen, it should be one continuous image. Instead, it's all just repeated a million times.
Oh.
Yeah, it's very, very obnoxious. But I'll say it one more time. This is a visually pretty and impressive game.
I was going to say,
It's not Raw 2 at all.
It does not look like an Xbox. Like, you tell me that this is a wrestling game from the early 2000s and it's an original Xbox game? I don't know. I think this, graphically, this game holds up.
Graphically, yeah, for sure. Everything is in proportion. Everything looks legit. Your referee's a little slow, but whatever.
So the big thing that bothered me about this game, my big gripe, talked about it in a lot of different other games. We've mentioned how it helps with the immersion. That's the crowd. This crowd.
Uh-huh.
I believe the term you used was slug people.
Exactly.
And boy, has a more accurate statement never been said on this podcast. They are horrifying. They are mashed potato people. They are slug people. They look like melted Play-Doh. Whatever term you want to use. Very little defining features to the crowd. The same repetitive movements. There's no detail to a face or a hand. It's just no.
I'll say this though. The crowd is dark, so you don't notice it too often other than the entrances.
Yes. Aside from the entrance, you'll never catch like hard glimpse of it. Also because the camera is pulled out so far during matches, which is great. I like that you can see a good portion of the ring like throughout your entire match, but man, I think it was very noticeable, especially during Eddie Guerrero's entrance.
Very, yeah, because his start's already halfway down the ramp because the lowrider,
and it starts in on a very close angle.
Yeah,
and it was that's gonna give me nightmares.
It was rough. It was also rough. Did you know? Did you know Microsoft accidentally sent an older, broken version of the game to the disc manufacturer?
Did you know the theme for this game is Anxiety by the Black Eyed Peas?
Did you know this game starts on eBay around $6 for disc only, goes up to $20 full, and around $60 factory sealed? Now, okay, let's pump the brakes here. We gotta go back. Microsoft accidentally sent an older, broken game to the disc manufacturer, which resulted in the players being unable to connect to the Xbox Live service upon release until a downloadable patch was made soon thereafter. Now, I could imagine with this, there were other patches that were fixed. So this was what I was saying when I said Young John played a broken game forever because he did not have Xbox Live.
Okay. Let's this makes me think of something else. This is a broken game. Ships as a broken game. Obviously,
so crazy.
Biggest broken game of all time is 2K20. You know what other game is broken that I played all the time without fail? I want to grab it for you because it's right here.
While he's doing that, Anxiety by Black Eyed Peas. Oh, he's grabbing No Mercy. Yes, yeah.
The original No Mercy cartridge, not the
USA
Dash,
1.
Not the Dash 1, just the regular original cartridge. This is the same cartridge that I've had for my entire life. This is my childhood cartridge. It is broken. I have a whatever the cheapest version of the memory pack that I could afford with like 16 blocks of memory. And every created wrestler that I had as a kid is on this.
Wow.
And I would just endlessly play survival mode because I would want to see how long I could get, how far I could get, how long or how many wrestlers I could unlock, and then how long I could keep those wrestlers unlocked. Because every cartridge had a different trigger for the memory wipe.
See, my Pokemon Blue was like that. I was playing one day, and all of a sudden, I went to turn it back on, and it said "Start New Game," and I was like, "What do you mean? What do you mean start new game?"
No.
But it was cool because then once I got like gold and silver, I would just use it to trade Pokemon to myself. So I'd have all the starters.
Very, very wise.
But
there.
let's point out that this game also received the platinum hits somehow, and we mentioned
it was the fixed version.
The fixed version. It was never fixed. Anxiety by the Black Eyed Peas featuring Papa Roach is the theme song for this game, and god damn it, you will know this song because it plays relentlessly over and over and over again.
I'm trying to think of another game that like everything's falling apart. I'm trying to think of like other games that like
had like
just
5
like
or
played
6
on repeat.
My polyamorous friend. Yeah. But yeah, somehow this received the platinum hits in the 1999 price range. I guess that's why. But this game took a lot out of us mentally, physically. I know my fingers are still hurting from tapping to try to tap you out.
I'm emotionally exhausted.
Let's take a nice breather. Let's go through some R&R, some ratings and reviews.
I'm getting some herbal green tea.
Guriaki yerba mate. Metacritic with a 56 out of 100 overall. Now EGM with a 5 out of 10. Eurogamer 3 out of 10. Game Informer 5.75 out of 10. GamePro, it's always GamePro with a 4 out of 5 stars. GameSpot with a 4.5 out of 10. GameSpy 2 out of 5 stars. GameZone 4 out of 10. IGN 6 out of 10. OXM 6.8 out of 10. Now XPlay, the Sydney Morning Herald, and the Times give it a 2 out of 5 stars. Now GameSpot mentioned that the hit detection was horrible, which it was, and amongst various other problems such as slow, unresponsive AI, taking away from the difficulty or drastically decreasing the length of a match. Now, I actually remember most of these matches taking forever, but I don't know if that was just me waiting to hit a finisher when I could have ended them sooner, because finishers take forever, just like the TNA Impact.
Our matches were really short.
Yeah. Now, Create a Wrestler mode lacked a variety of moves and items for the wrestler to be created, and specialty matches were only available one-on-one. Now, Videogamer.com mentioned that the game had sloppy controls. I'm going to disagree there. And IGN praised the high visuals, but took flaw in the gameplay. I like the controls. I like the whole pro reversal system. I feel like the face buttons did what they needed to do. I liked that one of the I think it was R1 or L1, was an Irish whip button. I like that. You don't have to grapple and then press the run button. It had its own button.
Black or white.
Yeah. Right.
Not.
Sorry, we're in this era. Yeah. I just want to turn my flashlight on in Halo. Keep forgetting about those.
I will say this. I was waiting for this section to talk about it. The Create a Wrestler. It falls somewhere in between a SmackDown versus Raw game and the SmackDown 1.
Okay.
There's some parts are very good in terms of their customizations, and then other parts are just bare bones minimum. And you know, I agree with what GameSpot says. There's not a ton of unlockables for your wrestler, but at the same time, I don't know if that's necessarily the point of this game.
Right.
I feel like,
well,
the story mode, unlocking the legends.
But you need the Create a Wrestler for the story mode.
I know, but like you're not necessarily. I'm trying to think of how to articulate this the right way. You play through a Mortal Kombat or a Tekken or Street Fighter. You play through the arcade mode of those games. Yeah, you're playing through to play the game and to like play as your character and like unlock, you know, their story mode or whatever. But like, you're also playing to unlock the other characters that you can play as. So like, you know, beating the story mode with Ryu will unlock so and you know, you play with this other character that you otherwise normally probably wouldn't have played through, and it'll unlock this other character. Like, it's it's like a double-edged sword, man.
My created wrestler in this game, I definitely remember looking like Chris Sabin, like with the red hair and everything. But I think we got some good feedback from the professionals, but now it's time for us, because right now it's time to rate the games.
The game!
All right, John, I'm going to kick us off this week here. WWF WrestleMania 21 for the original Xbox. This was a game you have some experience with, so I'm very interested to hear what your review is. Will you play it forever or future endeavor?
You're fired!
All right, so I mentioned that this was the one game I kept from my original Xbox series, and I was kind of hoping one day I would get to play it again, and that day never came until now. So I think, 15 years almost? Yeah, about 15 years at this point since this game came out. I was waiting, just remembering how bad it was, remembering the glitches, remember everyone hating it, to the point where we actually played and it wasn't as bad as I remembered it, and I actually enjoyed it. And the fact that the story mode still kind of sticks with me, and I do want to actually run through it again, it's not the gameplay. I want to play it forever.
Wow.
This was just one of those games that has always stuck with me. I played the crap out of it. I probably ran this disc to the... It's probably game doctored with like that really crappy underneath scraping that thing used to do.
Didn't they get sued?
Yeah.
They were actually like skimming the film off of discs or something.
I did like all my games at one point, so it's probably done. But yeah, play it forever.
Maybe when you do that playthrough of the story mode, I would like to be present for that.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm still working on getting an Xbox. There are a couple available to me. I'm just kind of pricing things out right now. I'm kind of in the middle of buying a house, so it's probably not on my priority list. All right, but George Feis, your first time here. Will you play it forever or future endeavor?
I'm going to steal a line from WrestleMania here. WWF WrestleMania 21. First time, last time, only time. I do not want to pick this game up ever again. I will watch people play it because visually it is stunning. The entrances are cool, minus that video. The arenas look great. The crowd are weird alien slug people. I'm letting that slide. The character models, though, unreal. You know, the vascular guys are super vascular. Like the amount of detail and like little things that games today don't even have is very, very surprising, especially for an original Xbox game. But man, the game itself is so broken, and the heat-seeking moves.
Love them. I love them. Give me all the heat-seeking drop kicks across the ring with Lita.
Do not like it. Do not want this no future endeavor.
You're fired!
So it's kind of like when John Cena and The Rock faced off at WrestleMania, and it was like, for the only time ever, and then it happened the next year because you're going to have to play it again on Future Endeavored.
Do you want to come on and play that one with me again?
You're good. Okay, but with that, let's move on over. Let's talk about our weekly tournament, Clash at the Feast. All right, for this week's game, head on over to youtube.com/GameMarksPodcast. It's available now, where we play WrestleMania 21. Now, George, you're up 3-0 so far this season. Last week, we played WWF European Rampage Tour. I had no choice but to be the Nasty Boys as you put together your all-star teams mixed of Hogans and Machos and Warriors and Bretts. But your boy, Johnny Clash, took both victories by not letting you back in the ring to go up 2-1 in the month of September. Play my frickin' music.
Not everything's made to last.
for a while there, the only way to hear that music was to come and watch the countdown.
Wow.
Starting of the Twitch channel.
That's not true. I played it at the last Creative Pro show where I put Mike Anthony, my former tag partner, through a door. Which, by the way, guys, October 15th, I'm going to plug it now. Creative Pro returns to Limbrook, New York. We put about 400 tickets on sale. We are down to like 90. So if you're in the whole Long Island area, come on down to Limbrook. It's a Halloween show. We got Danhausen. We have Tony Nese. It's going to be a great show. You coming, George?
I'll be there.
I'm in the costume rumble, so you're going to have to wait and see who I picked to be.
Is it me? Are you can dress up as me?
That's just dressing as me, so no.
God.
All right, but we putting a bow on it?
Goldberg, the goalie?
Imagine. That would be great. I thought about being a goalie in a battle royal. That would be hilarious. No one could eliminate you. You're just kind of blocking everyone. You just making saves. Oh, tell us what we're playing next week, because we're coming to an end here with our Mega Mark episodes for this week. And hey, we got a new Mega Mark. So next month, the month of October, we're going to have every game covered. I love it.
Man,
we might start venturing out of wrestling or doing some more retrospects.
Kind of crazy. But courtesy of Mega Mark Brett Van, we are going to be closing out the acclaimed wrestling series because we are playing the final game for the N64 and the PlayStation in that acclaimed series. We are playing WWF Attitude.
I cannot wait to play Attitude. Let me tell you. Closing another door. Closing the Acclaim series.
Oh man, that's
I know you love it.
It's my birthday week.
Oh, usually you get to pick the game. Sorry, you have to play Attitude. Worst gift ever.
But on my birthday, we're doing something fun. So.
All right, cool. Take us home.
All right, well, that's it, right?
That's it. Good hanging with you.
Yeah, always a pleasure, John. Well, that's going to do it for us this week here on the Game Marks Podcast. Please check out our merchandise at GameMarksPod.com/shop and join us on Patreon, patreon.com/GameMarksPod. Best way besides listening to support the podcast, be sure to follow us on all forms of social media at GameMarksPod. Leave us a review and a rating on Apple Podcasts and subscribe to wherever great podcasts can be found. Thank you for hanging out with us. John, what are you doing this weekend? Anything big? Anything big happening this weekend?
No, nothing big.
No? All right. Maybe we should do something.
All right.
Hang out.
Maybe.
All right. Well, you should do that thing. That goodbye thing.
Game over. You peaches.
Game Marks Podcast, put them on the radar. Playing rare games, Sega Saturn, no Game Shark. Johnny and George work hard and they play hard. Future endeavor games and put them in the graveyard. From the deep dive to the clash at the feast. How can I get more? That's question of the week. Follow on Twitch, there's nothing that they won't play. Game Marks Podcast every single Monday.